Alright, VC, it's your pal Dom, seeking a thread. Starting to go through some artist updates. Sort of very key and essential artists to me that I collect. I don't have a lot of those, and there's some that I collect heavy but not everything, and then there's some I collect everything. We're going to collect one of those, or we're going to discuss one of those artists today, and it's an update and a follow-up to a video I did a few years ago. And I'm going to show you what I've gotten by this artist since then. And we're going to talk, yes, again, about the Grail. I'm going to call it that. I never call these records Grails, but that I still cannot find and have not found. We'll talk about it. But the artist is Brenda Ray. UK-based, truly chameleon. She blends everything. Well, she started in a group called Naffy, and I will link to the first video below, where I really go in depth about who she was or who she is still. Sorry, still out there. But her classic music from the 70s and 80s, and all those really hard to find records that I did find. So that one will be more about who she is and what she's done. And this is an update to some of her other recordings that are even more eccentric and a little hard to find, but at least in the US anyway. This is Perfume of the Soul by Brenda Ray. She sort of took on this guise as Brenda and the Beachballs, with some help from some of her co-conspirators in Naffy Sandwich and the Brenda Ray records. This is from 2022 though, but it's from recordings of 1989 to 1991, and it features Brenda Ray, of course, again combining dub, disco, hip hop, Balearic, minimal beats. There's jazz, like in the sort of spirit of what she's doing. Really, truly everything. Her big thing is percussion and melodica and just a little bit of everything. Kitchen sink. Brenda Ray, electronics, hand percussion. It's a little hard to read on the back of the sleeve. Harmonium and vocals, and she's that breathy vocal person. Melodica, a lot of melodica. And it's hard to read. Drum machines, such and such, flutes, koto, and strings. And she does all this at her Naffy studio, and she's based outside of Manchester in Earlston. Freddie Viaduct does contribute bass guitar. He's all over the Naffy records from the late 70s and early 80s. Organ, well, we'll just leave it at that. Freddie Viaduct and Eugene Lang. Vocals on A1, this track. John Williamson, acoustic guitar. Anyway, mixed and produced at Naffy HQ 1989 to 1991 by Brenda Kenny, aka Brenda Ray. And she talks about big respect, Archie Shepp, Marion Brown, Charles Lloyd, and Brother Jack McDuff. The specials, and the specials. Spirit and Dubmeister, Supreme, Jerry, Freddie Viaduct, and a bunch more other stuff. It's a little hard to read on the back of the sleeve, but really cool design. This is a great record. I really enjoy this stuff. This sort of like eerie, haunted, sort of old school type, just beat flavored stuff. Really good. She released this via her Bandcamp. I'm pretty sure it's sold out, but I don't know what these copies are going for. But if it's anything about the record, like the record I'm going to talk about later, you shouldn't sleep on it if you like this. So we'll listen to a little bit of this, and I'll show you what else I got from her. Brenda Ray is just someone I fell in love with about 2010 from this record, Walatta, which we'll talk about in a second. But everything she's done is cool, interesting, and great. So again, we'll link to my video below, and you can find out more about some of those other records, which are sort of the more sort of well-known records. This is some more obscure stuff by her, but equally interesting. That she made music in the last 10 years, and she kind of contextualized herself, we'll say, as Brenda Beachball Ray, and she did these two 12 inches on the Aficionado label. They are 4-track and 3 tracks. This is the Ramshackle Rumble on the Aficionado label, as I said. This is 2017, I believe it is. Theme from Another Space, Transatlantic Dance Trance, Love to Dance and Coolin' in the Ride, very much boogie and sort of, yeah, summery, sort of big beat, kind of a little bit like this track that we're hearing. And I'll probably play one or two of these 12 inches, and these weren't cheap to get either, just because they're not in the US. Actually, I did find US copies, that's not true. If you're in Europe, you might be able to get this for like 10 euro. I had to pay about $30, $35 for these for the one seller that did have them. And I got these from two different sellers, and both sellers were like totally space cadets when it came to selling on Discogs. They're like, I think I have that, and it took like 2 weeks for them to just find it and send it to me, almost as if they listed records in their own collection and just totally had no idea where they were. Anyway, this is the Digi Drifts EP from 2015. Again, on the Aficionado label. You can see the Juno sticker, where it originally came from. Digi Drifts, Solitude, Space Dustin, and Skip Hop to Bop. I want to play a little bit of this, and then we'll talk about the record, which I hate to name again. But Brenda Beachball Ray, just a different reinvention of herself. As I said, she started as Naffy, a Naffy sandwich with Freddie Viaduct, and then she was doing records as Brenda Ray. Naffy Locksman is another one. Again, I'll link to that video below. But the Brenda and the Beachballs thing kind of came in the mid to late 80s, so these kind of are a continuation of that, but a little more updated. And nice sleeves, these kind of company sleeves for Aficionado Records. So let's play a little bit of this Digi Drifts EP, and then I'll show you how I almost, in a way, got my Grail, but not really yet. Here's the labels on the Brenda Perfume of the Soul. It's a little loud. So as I said, the video I linked to below, I really touch on this whole story, but I've been looking for this record by Brenda Ray on the M Records label called Walatta. Since I last saw it in the record store I worked at, Kim's Video, in, I believe it was 2012. The record was originally released on CD in 2006, and then reissued on CD, and then the first vinyl edition, which is what I've been looking for. I don't know how many copies there are. I'm guessing, since it's so scarce, maybe 500, but maybe less. Maybe they made like 300. Yeah, the M Records label has done stuff. You can get her other record pretty easily that M did, which is a compilation of her work from Naffy Sandwich and Brenda and the Beachball, and Naffy Locksman, all that stuff. That's called Do You Hear Me? But for whatever reason, they've never repressed Walatta, and it has been impossible to find. The last copy I saw, I didn't see it. It came up on Discogs probably in the middle of the night, February 8th, 2023. And I totally missed that. I think the copy before that to turn up on Discogs from 2020. I saw what was one on Instagram. I missed all of these. These are 3 copies that I can put my hands on, or I can put my eyes on, over the last, 5 years. It's definitely sold a few times, but it has not turned up. Jose Marino Ron sort of hit me, or sort of put me on the track, correctly so, to looking at Japanese retailers, because the M Records label pressed it, Japanese label, even though she's English. And we were talking via Instagram, and he started sending me links to these stores that were purportedly selling this record for a pretty good price. Now, it's only sold for as much as about $140 or euros or whatever. No one has tried to list an insanely pricey copy for some dumb money. It's just not shown up. It's just been invisible. But Jose was being, as he is, was being very persistent, and he found listings, what seemed like 2 different listings for this record. I bought them. But to make a long story short, these sellers, trying to buy from a Japanese-only seller is very difficult. I communicated with Ricefield Records, Michael. I communicated with a bunch of people who advised me of how I should proceed. These different sellers wanted direct bank transfers. And then I started talking with my brother who works for Honda, and he put me in touch with a friend in Japan. And he looked at these listings that I had, and he's like, these are fake. Yeah, they don't really have it. But it definitely kept my eyes on Japan. I started searching by some large retailers that are Japanese retailers, and I did find that they sold one within the last 2 years. Brenda Ray, Walatta LP, which I have on CD. I've shown it before. It's upstairs. Anyway, the Walatta record was issued as a 12-inch single with some songs and as 7-inch singles. Now, Brenda Ray befriended Roy Cousins, who founded the Wambasi label. Now I'm showing you a couple of things. And they started issuing stuff on this label. And she got hold of some original dub plates from Jamaica, late 70s. And Roy Cousins started putting out these tracks she was doing, which was using original rhythms and then putting her style on it. And these were recorded anywhere from 95 to 2003 or something. And that's what the album eventually will be known as, Walatta. But they first came out as these singles, and that's what I've tracked down. I've tracked down the 2 different singles released on Roy Cousins' Wambasi label. This is one of my favorite tracks. These will all end up on the Walatta album that I've been so dying to search for, or I've been dying to get. Please Be Mine Tonight and Starlight. That's one. And the second one, there's these 2 singles. And these came out before the Walatta album, Dreamin' and Another Dream. I think the date's on these. They're made in England. I had to get these from the UK, but I did find a seller who had both. So these are, between the 2 singles, 4 tracks that are on Walatta. And then I think I showed this next one in one of my new Vinyl in My Life videos like a year or 2 ago. But I got this after I did the Brenda Ray video. But this is the 12-inch single that she did. It's basically self-titled. Or no, this is Starlight. So it has one of the songs that I just showed you on the 45, but then 3 others. And it sounds incredible. This sounds fantastic. It's 45 RPM. So between this and the 2 singles, I have 8 tracks that are on Walatta. Walatta has 12. So I almost have it in a piecemeal fashion, but obviously not so much. I'm glad to get this. This was sitting on Discogs for a long time. And again, I had to get it from the UK, even though this is on the M label, pressed in Japan. But it's now gone. This isn't turning up anymore. So I'm glad I did get this, because it sounds incredible at 45 RPM. But yeah, I think the very first vinyl tag I did back in 2021, I said that was my I think one of the questions was, what's your number 1 record you want to get this year? It was Brenda Ray Walatta. Never found it. So that's kind of it. I mean, we're listening to that Brenda Beachball Ray record, Digi Drifts. I want to just update sort of, how I've almost completed my Brenda Ray collection. There is one other 7-inch single that's pretty tough to get, but there are copies for sale. It's from a different moniker of hers, a different project, but I just love her take on experimental dance music, which is really what it is, but throwing in that Balearic sound, that disco, yes, a heavy dub. Dub is a big thing, but Walatta is a dub reggae album in a very special way, just the way she adds in all that melodica, that percussion, very handmade feel, and then she has that vocal style that's all unique to her. So I'm doing this update to sort of, put more attention on this record, I guess. I'm just going to make it harder for me to get. You'll see on Discogs, I think 20 or 30 people have it, I think, and 900 and something people want it now. I have not helped that, but I've emailed all those people who have it and have asked. No one has responded to me. I've put out just as many feelers as you can, and I check this for this record every day. So I'm not, it sounds like I'm obsessed, which I probably am, but I'm not stressing it. I think at some point I'll find it. No, I didn't find it or see it at any of the record fairs, WFMU or anything. Anyway, yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that little update for Brenda Ray, Brenda Kenny, Naffy, as she's known, Brenda Beachball Ray. She's awesome. Maybe I should get in touch with her, actually. That's what I should do. If she's even out there looking to sell copies or has a copy. But anyway, that's it. More artist updates to come, more artist features to come. This is Seeking a Thread.
Skips the beats. There's a single